Hey guys, so this is a preliminary devlog announcing my next game, Project BaseUP. The premise of this game is that it's a Steam multiplayer roguelike sandbox game where players enter a randomly generated world and must use the finite amount of resources there to level up their characters, shelter against the environment, and prepare defenses against ever-increasing numbers of invading enemies. After 30 minutes, the players will be challenged by a world boss that aims to destroy the entire world, thus completing a run. I imagine this is a very chaotic event. I'm actually aiming to incorporate a lot of the game mechanics that I explored in my late game Super Starbase, which you're seeing right now. But I'm aiming to take a completely different approach with a lot of these things and like kind of reorganize my thoughts and optimize the game for Steam multiplayer. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to introduce you to some of the project that I've made so far, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions. This game could take many forms, and I recognize that I have a lot of good options for designing this game, so the ones that I want to focus on are the ones that are the most interesting to my audience and my friends. So what that means is that as I complete devlogs for this game, I'm hoping that people who are interested are willing to leave some feedback on those videos that I can use to improve the game. I also intend to show off my development process in a way that is educational and inspiring to other developers. If you're ever curious about how a system that I've made works, just leave a comment about it, and I'd love to make a video on that topic that goes more in depth. So let's get right into the project. So I'm going to be going pretty much like maximally in depth with this next part because I've barely done anything with this project, but in the future I'm actually going to be wanting to make devlogs in a more let's play style fashion. Like when there's more game to play, I would like to present it as a player more so than as a developer. However, you know, of course I'm going to be offering developer insights and things and sharing my stories, but this video is going to be more of an in-depth approach to logging my development. All right, so let me introduce you to the project. So we have just basically just folder organization structure. I like to put global stuff in a global folder, and then like, I guess fonts don't need to go in here. They can go out. But I organize like my different libraries, I call them. Like I organize elements that are like globally accessible, like systems into libraries. So for example, I've done some work on our UI library already, where it incorporates some of the functions of the input library, which is prepared for me to program like controller support and stuff for, which is, I think is really cool. I'm really excited for that. And I've gone ahead and made like a generic button, which will allow me to create like more buttons in the future. So like one thing to know that's different about GameMaker compared to other game engines is that we don't have a lot of UI support. So I gotta program all the UI stuff on my own. But you know, I'm going ahead and get this up now because I want to get into networking as my next thing to attack here with this project. And so what that means is that what I don't want to do is get too far ahead on like networking and stuff before I've made a devlog, which is part of the reason why we're getting a devlog 0 right now, just as an introduction to this project. So with that being said, we have like basically we have a little bit of UI, we have a little bit of global stuff set up. We have like I've got my control object. We already have some some global some of my global systems are set up in the step event here. And the other important thing, oh yeah, I guess I can go ahead and mention this. I have Steam set up for this game already as well, which is exciting. So the other important system that I have set up is this entity system where basically I'm programming. Basically, I want to add a bunch of things to this game, believe it or not. I want to have a bunch of enemies and objects in this game that like move around and have physics. And the way that I like to solve that problem is with an entity system that allows me to, whenever I like go to create a new enemy, the only thing I have to do is change some of its initial parameters and then give it a unique step event. And then everything else is handled from there. So like an enemy would be an entity object that can like deal damage to the player or something. But I haven't solved that problem yet. I haven't figured out how I want enemies to really function yet. The player is an entity that has a unique create event and a unique step event. Why is my computer lagging? What's going on? Is it this? What's going on? Steam API disabled? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. It was like spamming. It's like spamming like Steam messages. Whatever. I'll worry about that later. The unique step event in the player object allows me to read input, and basically we're just going to be changing the player's like speed parameters based on different input actions. And what this does is it translates into I have like a nice movement system. It's ready for me to work on some things. You can quick fall actually if you tap down, which I think is kind of interesting. But this is one of the questions I have to ask is like, what kind of movement are we looking for? Like I am imagining, like I kind of want a, I will call it a skill-based movement system that's reminiscent of games like Risk of Rain or, I mean specifically Risk of Rain 2 or like Counter-Strike, even though I am aware that this is a 2D game. But there are things that we can do with like the way momentum works. Like for example, I'm not gonna add b-hopping to this game, but that's like any sort of technical nuance is welcome in whatever we come up with. Like this is a lot simpler because it's a 2D game, so we like our limitations are a lot simpler. But one of the things that I do want to add is, what the hell is happening over here? My mouse is on the, this is a weird bug. I'm not sure what this is, so I'll worry about that later. But one of the things I do want to add is like, I'm kind of curious about adding a new Super Mario Bros. Wii like wall slide and wall jump. I think that would be fun. The movement tech that I explored in the past in like Super Starbase was the ability to climb everything. I think that was also really cool. I don't know if I don't think I'll add that to this game. I think the wall jump would be fun enough because I'm trying to make it like pretty chaotic. I want you to be jumping around and like I think your weapons will give you different like movement skills and stuff. But I haven't made any decisions yet. So that's the player's input stuff, and we just have a physics process that's part of the entity. Really happy with how this has come out. It's really cool to me. And so I'm also experimenting with art style. This is the next thing that I want people to like kind of look at, where I've made this experimental slime creature that is just, it's an entity as well, and we can look at him. And the purpose of the slime creature is that like I'm exploring some of these like what do I want the enemies to look like? This one has scaling that's applied to, I'm calling it jiggle scaling. It's got some jiggle scaling that gets applied to it whenever it takes actions, and then also naturally. And it gives it this like wiggle, the squash and stretch, but I don't think I like that. It also like, it's 2 frames of animation, and it just swaps between them based on how fast it's, not how fast, based on whether or not it's on the ground. So like when it's not on the ground, it looks kind of, it's a simple way of getting this like classic slime effect. But I think I won't allow the draw jiggle. I'm curious about what our thoughts are about this, because it's breaking the, you can see the outline here on the slime is like, it's breaking some of the, technically it's mixeling a lot. I do want to explore mixels, by the way. This is gonna be one of my controversial opinions. Actually, let me go ahead and pull up my... So while my example is pulling up, let me just express that like I want to do mixeling in this game. You can already see that with the way the outlines look. There's a 1 pixel outline that is, it's 1/4 the pixel size of everything else. And also, I'm kind of like, I was kind of exploring with how does this look? How do I think it look? I think it looks kind of clean. I think it looks pretty interesting. And these are 16 sprite tile sets for these different types of tiles. I was gonna have them, I have options for adding like a lot more variations because the auto tiling script is completely up to me. So we could have like a 20 tile set where it's like you have extra variations that go in the middle parts of all of these like chunks of tiles. I think that would be pretty interesting. But as far as I can tell, I think this is a good direction to be walking in with the art style. But truly, the most contentious thing that I want to talk about is this. This is my original like sketch of the game idea. I don't know what this is. This is like not a boss idea that I have. It's just like a random character. But the whole idea is that we have a game that kind of looks like this, and I've upscaled it and put an outline on it. And what I want is to differentiate the player. Like all of the stuff in the world is going to be this scale, but whenever you fight a boss, it's going to be upscaled. And I want to draw like these detailed enemy creatures that feel otherworldly in comparison to the stuff that you are dealing with in the majority of the game. And so basically, like, I think bosses will be like high resolution, and I'm very curious about like what that's going to look like. I think this is going to be a pretty controversial topic because people don't like pixels on the basis of that, like, I don't know, people just think that you're supposed to do like specific things in art, but I think it's worth considering, it's worth looking at. So with all of that being said, I believe this is I believe I've covered like a general overview of what I'm going for. So let's talk about the future. Okay, so this is going to be my like haphazard explanation of some of the game stuff I have in mind. This is my great game development notebook. It is truly fantastic. And we're nearing the end of it too. It's very interesting. But okay, so we are looking at, this is some of the like preliminary design that I've come up with, and it's going to illustrate some of the next steps that I'm going to take with this game project. So my basic idea is I definitely want like a lobby where players can join. This is the Steam lobby element where like characters can customize their appearance, and I don't know what kind of gameplay customization will be available right now. This is something that we should talk about. I think it would be cool if players could maybe customize like, well, maybe their starting weapon or something. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Maybe like what items they find in the game. I'm curious about like several of these progression mechanics, like Risk of Rain or like Vampire Survivors. And I think I'm going to implement like a Vampire Survivors type progression mechanic on top of maybe some sort of Risk of Rain, like item acquisition mechanic. I'm not sure yet though, because I have so many options. And you can also like join other lobbies, and you can customize parameters of the run you're about to go on. So like hard mode or like world type, or like how big is the world. Like I think I would want you to like be able to make like any sort of goofy variation for the run, because like the goal is like to have fun. So gameplay is, so you enter a randomly generated world and you must defend the big diamond. That's my current idea, where it's just like, here's what a world would probably look like, where you, in this example, you have trees and you have like a cave. And so I imagine players to spawn around the big diamond, and they you're motivated by the fact that enemies will be coming to kill you. They'll be coming to kill the big diamond, and you'll be motivated by the fact that like mining, crafting, building, and killing enemies will give you some XP. And then I'm thinking that whenever you level up, you get a Vampire Survivors selection of options. I think that your first level up is actually going to grant you a harvesting tool. So then you run around at level 0, and then whenever you reach level 1, you get the choices between maybe the player who picks the axe will be able to chop down trees, but the player who picks the pickaxe will be able to farm ores. So there's like going to be some deliberation about which player should do what at the start of the game. And then you also get railroaded along the you also kind of get railroaded into like different choices, because it's a random selection that you're choosing from, which is, I think there could be a lot of gameplay interest there. And then like as you level up, you can grow the strength of your resource collection tool, and also you'll probably be getting a weapon at some point, but I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. So yeah, you kill mobs and complete tasks. I do want base building to be a part of the game, because that's part of what a sandbox game is, and that's very interesting to me. What does this say? Pick between 1 of 3 jobs. Yeah. This is what I was talking about. 1 of 3 tools, 1 of 3 jobs. It's kind of like what happens. That's not important. Here I was trying to like simulate the game by like thinking about it, and I don't need to go very far in my simulation to know what kind of stuff I want to work on. So we have like the big diamond, and I imagine 2 players were in this lobby, and one of them chose to break down the tree, and because he could break trees, he built a wooden house. And the other one probably chose to, maybe he's just a mob killer. Maybe that was his first choice, was a weapon, and he goes and farms the enemies for XP and stuff. And then I came up with some ideas about this stuff, and I've decided that like, I'm just gonna kind of optimize for fun, but you know, we'll see how that pans out. So if you've become interested in this project, I just heard a Discord sound. So if you've become interested in this project and are wishing to support me, well, I'm wishing that you wishlist my game on Steam. You see, Project BaseUP is... I've started this project at the very tail end of my last project. I've started this project 1 month away from my first game. Oh my god, it's the wrong one. Which one is it? My first game, A Good Day to Pie, is coming to Steam. This is a historical game for this channel. This is the first game that I started making devlog videos for way back when in high school, and I came back 5 years after a super long hiatus to test my skills and finally put a game on Steam with A Good Day to Pie by fixing it up and finishing the game. So right now, the game is available for wishlisting, and if you want to support me, I highly encourage you to go wishlist. It's free. In the future, I know a lot of creators like to like set up Patreons or something. I want to, since this is a devlog YouTube channel, I want to take a different approach. What I want to offer instead of a Patreon is I want to offer games. If you like my content, then purchase my games. That's the pitch for this. That's the like business model that I'm going for with this YouTube channel. So that being said, thank you for watching.